Hello and welcome to part 2 of how to write the middle of your story. This video is specifically about what to do if you feel stuck while you're writing the middle of the story. Now, I have to confess something to you. Every single book that I write, and I've written a lot of them right now, far more than the 2 books that I've published, every single book that I write, I feel stuck in the middle. There is always a point where I think, I don't know what happens next. I'm not even sure I like this story. I'm not even sure I want to finish writing this story. And when I am feeling stuck, these are some of the things that I use to help myself get out of it. So if you get to a point in your middle and you feel stuck, then this is a list of questions to ask that can sometimes help you get out of feeling stuck when you're writing your middle. I'm also going to drop these questions into the info section on this video so that you can make sure to have them handy. Another thing to do if you find yourself getting stuck in the middle is to go way back and watch some of the videos through again, talking about the 3 parts of stories and how they work, and that might help you to feel like you have a better grasp on what's going on in your story. Another thing that you can do is to go find some great books to read or movies to watch and watch how the middles in those stories work. That also might inspire you and give you the tools that you need to figure out how to get unstuck from where you are in the middle. So, my questions for storytellers to ask, especially when they're stuck, are what happens next? Now, I realize that may sound like a really obvious question, but sometimes asking what happens next is just what we need to help us figure out and get those creative juices working. One thing that we can do if we're not sure what we want to happen next and we don't have it from our story plan from the last exercise is we can make a list of things that could possibly happen next, and we can figure out which of those things we think is most interesting and try that out. Another question is, what does the main character want? Now, we've talked a lot about how the main character has a goal that they are trying to achieve in the story. So you can ask what the main character's goal is and how close to getting it they are, or you can ask, what does the main character want right now? I mean, maybe the main character's big goal is to stop an evil pirate, but maybe in this scene and this moment, what he really wants is a bowl of Cheerios to give him the energy to go stop the evil pirate and fight with him. So it's helpful to ask both what your main character wants from the whole story and what your main character wants right now from this scene. Another thing that you can ask is, how does your main character feel about the last thing that just happened? Whatever that was, whether that was something that they tried and failed, like we talked about in the last video, or whether that was something that the antagonist did or that a helper character did. Asking what the main character feels about what happened can really help us get to understand our main character a little bit better and give us something to write about. And you may notice as a reader that you really connect with characters when you can tell what they're feeling and thinking. So as an author, when you allow your readers to get to know your main character a little bit, they're going to have that experience too. Another question is there a way to make this story even cooler? Sometimes when we get stuck or when we get writer's block in the middle of a story, it's because we're feeling a little bit bored. That happens to everybody. Sometimes ideas that we thought sounded really cool before we started writing aren't quite as cool once we sit down and start. Or sometimes ideas that are cool aren't cool enough, or sometimes we've used all our cool ideas and they were all great, but we need another cool idea. And so asking, is there a way to make this story even cooler, is another question that can just get our creative juices flowing. And again, like with the first question, sometimes it's really helpful to make a brainstorm list, a list of things, what if I had this happen? If I had a fire-breathing dragon? What if I had my character discover he had magical powers? Whatever you want, and it doesn't just have to be magical solutions, but whatever you want, you can add to your brainstorm list, and then you can pick the coolest idea off of that one. Lastly, another thing that can be really good to ask is, what is so special about the main character? Figuring out what makes our main character different from the other characters in the story can sometimes help us know how to move forward. Related to this, I would say you could ask yourself, what makes the antagonist special, or what makes the antagonist want to stop the main character? Why are they doing what they're doing? Why are they being part of a problem that is stopping the main character from getting what they want? The more you know your characters as an author, the more you're going to be able to write about them, and the more you're going to be able to come up with ideas for them to do, and the more the reader is going to learn to connect with and think they're awesome. So I hope that these questions for stuck storytellers help you if you are feeling a little bit stuck in the middle. And once you're feeling unstuck, you can move right on to the next video, which is about how to write the end.